Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome to Ahavat Ami Virtual Synagogue. My name is Rabbi Yitzchak Shapira, and I'm the founder of Ahavat Ami. We gather here together virtually from every nation, every tribe, and every tongue, every Erev Shabbat to a special service that is called Kaballat Shabbat, the receiving of the Shabbat. What does it mean to receive the Shabbat? You see, the children of Israel are not commanded to observe the Shabbat or to think about the Shabbat. Scripture teaches us in the book of Exodus that Israel is commanded to do the Shabbat, meaning there is a state of mind, a framework to enter to the Shabbat. And this is what this service is primarily all about, is to help each and every one of you to stop, unwind, and to receive God and to perhaps delight in the week that we had and think about the good things that happened to you this week and thank God for them, and then enter into the rest as you continue to seek God. And because He does work all the time, He doesn't slumber, He doesn't sleep, He doesn't need a rest, but you and I, we need this rest. And this is what this Shabbat service is all about. Now, it is really important as we enter into Shabbat, because all the other days, guess what? They don't have names in Hebrew. Rishon, Sheni, Shlishi, Revi'i, Chamishi, and Shishi. They're simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the Shabbat has a name. It's a day that is set apart. So some of the things that you can do in the Shabbat to set it apart: set apart time for your family, set apart time to hear Torah, set apart time to rest and to delight in everything that happened to you. And also it's a time for us to set time apart to give God thanks, if it is in our praise and also in our support. We have a mission here at Ahavat Ami International. It is to bring all of you from the nations to the house of Israel. And for that, we expend great effort all throughout the world. And unfortunately, those things takes resources. And that's why I'm asking you to learn about the culture of Israel. The culture of Israel is not just Shabbat, it's a culture of giving, especially on the Shabbat. And people ask me all the time the question, well, do you talk about money on Shabbat then? I've never been in a synagogue in the world that the money is not discussed in Shabbat, because it's a day that got set apart for us to think about building a kingdom, establishing a kingdom. And if you're here and if you watch us faithfully over the years, we are celebrating as on broadcast that we're entering our 12th year of broadcasting. If you're blessed by this, just consider today to truly partnering with Ahavat Ami International. I want to tell you about the delight that I had this week. We've been working literally like 20 hours a day, every day. It's been that kind of a week to get the Rivka Remnant done, and I'm excited to tell you that we finish it right before the Shabbat. So I'm so excited about this. We received the first set of endorsements that just overwhelmed me. Thank you so much, Dr. Wheeler, for those reviews. We are overwhelmed. I hope that all of you went and already pre-order Rivka Remnant, www.rivkaremnant.com. After the Shabbat, the book is going to the printer. I'll tell you all about it later on. But for right now, we say to all of you, please hit a share and a like. Bruchim habayim. Let us to the Shabbat together in joy and gladness. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav lehitzivanu lehadlikneh shel Shabbat. listening. Shabbat Shalom.
החממי ראש האילנות נסתלקה, בואו ונצא לקראת שבת המלכה. הנה היא יורדת, הקדושה הברוכה, ועם המלאכים צבא שלום ומנוחה. בואי המלכה, בואי הכלה. שלום Aleichem, Malachei Shalom. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come gather to welcome the Sabbath, our Queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her the angels of peace and of rest. Draw near, and here abide. Draw near, O Sabbath bride. Peace also to you, you angels of peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Yehion. Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Koachem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yehion. Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 Baruch Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yehion. Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yehion. Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 Moving on into the main body of our Kaballat Shabbat worship with a series of psalms beginning with Psalm 95. Lechu niranna, lechu niranna, lechu neran Adonai, lechu niranna, lechol neranena, lechol neran al Adonai. Naria, לצור ישנו, נכד מבחן ותודה. נריה, לצור ישנו, בזמרות תריולו. לכל נרננה, לכל נרננה, לכל נרן על אדוני. לכל נרננה, לכל נרננה, לכל נרן על אדוני.
In God's hand are the depths of the earth. The peaks of the mountains are God's. God's is the sea. God made it, and the land which God's hands fashioned.
Come, let us bend the knee, bow down, and kneel before Adonai our Maker. For Adonai is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. Oh, if you would but heed God's charge this day.
40 שנה אקוט בדור, ואומר אנטו אל לבבם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעת ויביא, הם יבואון אל מנוחתי.
For 40 years I was angry with the generation. Then I said, an errant-hearted people are they, and they know not my ways. Therefore I have sworn in my wrath that they shall not enter my land of contentment. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz.
Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the peoples are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. Strength and splendor are in God's temple.
ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלוס שדי וכל אשר בו. אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני גבעה לשפוט הארץ. ישפוט הבל בצדק, ועמים באמונתו.
Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world in righteousness and its peoples in truth. Adonai malach tagel haaretz. Adonai is sovereign. Let the world rejoice.
God's throne is founded on justice. Though God be clouded from view, divine justice reveals God's presence.
God's lightning illuminates the earth. Fire consumes God's foes. Mountains melt like wax before Adonai. The earth trembles. The heavens proclaim God's righteousness. All people behold his majesty. Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images which must themselves bow low before God.
Hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults, and the cities of Judah rejoice.
You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked.
Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable.
Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name.
Ave Adonai, Sineoral, Shomer nafshot chasidav miyad rishayim yatzilem. Or zaru al tzadik, yishrei lev simcha, simchot tzadikim b'Adonai, v'hodu lezeher kadsho. Zaruah הצדיק, כל ישרי לב שמחה. עוז הרוח לצדיק, כל ישרי לב שמחה. עוז הרוח לצדיק, כל ישרי לב שמחה. ישרי לב שמחה. עוז הרוח לצדיק, כל ישרי לב שמחה. כל ישרי לב שמחה. עוז הרוח לצדיק, כל ישרי לב שמחה. עוז הרוח לצדיק, כל ישרי לב שמחה.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked. Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable. Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name. Mizmor, Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash, Ki Niflaot Asa, Hoshia Lo Yimno Uzroa Kodsho. Sing to the Lord a new song, for he has performed wonders. His right hand and holy arm have wrought deliverance for him. The Lord has made known his salvation. He has revealed his justice before the eyes of the nations. He has remembered his loving kindness and faithfulness to the house of Israel. All from the farthest corners of the earth witness the deliverance by our God.
Raise your voices in jubilation to the Lord, all the earth. Burst into joyous song and chanting. Sing to the Lord with the harp and the sound of song, with trumpets and the sound of the shofar. Jubilate before the King, the Lord. The sea and its fullness will roar in joy, the earth and its inhabitants.
ניהרותי עמך וכף, יחד הרים ירננו. לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ. ישפוט תבל בצדק, בעמים במישרים.
Rivers will clap their hands. The mountains will sing together. They will rejoice before the Lord, for he has come to judge the earth. He will judge the world with justice and the nations with righteousness. Adonai Malach Yirgzu Amim. Adonai is sovereign. Nations tremble. God is enthroned on high. The very earth quivers.
Adonai is great in Zion, exalted over all peoples. Let them praise God, for God is awesome, holy.
The king is mighty. He rules with a love of justice. You alone bring about equity, ordaining justice and compassion for the people of Jacob.
Exalt Adonai our God. Worship God, who is holy.
Moses, Aaron, and Samuel, God's chosen ones, called out to Adonai, who answered them in a pillar of cloud.
They zealously strove to obey the divine law, even when God's decrees were beyond their grasp.
You responded to them with compassion, even as you rebuked them for their offenses.
Extol Adonai and bow towards God's holy mountain. Adonai our God is holy.
Adonai Eloheinu ata nitam el naseh ayita lahem benokem alilotam romemu Adonai Eloheinu והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו מזמור לדוד.
Adonai, our God, you answered them. A forgiving God were you because of them, yet an avenger for their iniquities. Exalt Adonai, our God, and worship at his holy mountain, for holy is Adonai, our God. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai B'nai Elim, Havu Ladonai Kavod Va'oz. A psalm of David. Ascribe to Adonai, O divine beings. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai is power. The voice of Adonai is majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedars. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes cows to calve and strips forests bare. While in God's temple, all say glory. Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. Adonai sits enthroned, sovereign forever. May Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being.
Kol Adonai yechalel ayalot vayechesot ye'arot uchechalo kulo omer kavod Adonai lama boli yashav vayeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitein Adonai varech et amo v'shalom
The voice of Adonai frightens the deer and strips the forest bare. While in his temple, all will proclaim glory. Adonai sat enthroned at the deluge. Adonai sits enthroned as king forever. Adonai will give might to his nation. Adonai will bless his nation with peace.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, as we enter into the Lechado Day that is found in page 2 of the Ahavat Olam Siddur. I hope all of you have a chance to have it. It's available in so many different languages. We read the story of the Lechado Day. And the Lechado Day is a waltz. It's a love song between a groom and to the bride. And I am talking about this every week about this song. And the one of the things that I want us to think about, we just entered into 2022, about the words of the groom to the bride in the one of the later verses, in the 5th verses, I believe. He say, "Hitna'ari me'afar kumi livshi bigdei tif'artech ami." He says to the bride that she is to shake herself from the ashes and arise. And now this is important, this concept of shaking from an ashes, because the ashes, the afar represent dust, represent a mourning. He says to her, stop mourning and put the best clothing that you have, my people, on me. And how do you get it achieved? How do you do it? Through Al-Yad, through, by the power of Ben Ishai, son of Jesse, Bet Alachmi from Bethlehem. This is important for us to understand in the light of what we're saying that is happening today in the world. I don't think there is a single person who's watching this broadcast who has not been impacted from the COVID-19. The question should be, what should be our response to the death and to calamity, to destruction all around us? And especially nowadays, I think we're going to see much, much more of those things as we enter into the birth pangs and the travails of the Messiah. Our response to those things is actually this word, kumi. Now notice the vav after the kuf, kumi. The vav after the kuf represent a commandment. He didn't say to the bride, get up if you feel like getting up. He said to the bride, get up. It's a commandment to her. Get up. And that's, this term, get up, is the same expression that is used to describe the resurrection power. So really, he is telling the bride in the middle of death, in the middle of chaos, get up and declare the power of resurrection. This is powerful. This is important. This is significant. Today, the one thing that each and every one of us have to do in the days ahead is to declare and to proclaim the power of resurrection. And how do you do it? Through the expectation that the son of Jesse is going to come. Today, the only hope and the only expectation that we have into the world is the fact that we know that Messiah, son of Jesse, is going to come soon. We know that, and we believe for that today, that he is going to return soon. And through that, today, you need to prepare. The idea of putting our garments and as it says in the Torah, wash your clothes for the third day to be ready for the third day, the day of your resurrection, right? So although today there's chaos and calamity surround us, your response should be today to declare the power of the resurrection in your life. That means that you cannot live under the spirit of death, under the spirit of fear. I think one of the things that is happening from the COVID-19 is a lot of people become fearful from what's ahead. And we, as the remnant, have to understand that what is coming ahead for those wearing the garment of the bride is the appearance of the groom, appearance of Mashiach, who is here, is knocking at the door. So I tell all of us today is do those things through the powers of Yeshua, the Messiah. Arise today, shine. Say today that even if there is darkness, as Isaiah 60 says, darkness cover all the earth, upon you, the light will shine. And we are believing for that today, that in this year, God is going to use each and every one of you to orchestrate a great light in the midst of darkness. That's what the groom is asking of the bride. Let's go now to the Lecha Dodi. Shalom, everybody.
Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Keep and remember a single command, the only God caused us to hear. The eternal is one, his name is one, is our honor and glory and praise. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Come with me to meet Shabbat. Forever a fountain of blessing, still it flows as from the start, the last of days for which the first was made. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Awake, awake, your light has come. Arise, shine, awake and sing. Awake, awake, your light has come. The Eternal's glory dawns upon you. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Enter in peace, O crown of your husband. Enter in gladness, oh, enter in joy. Come to the people that keeps its faith. Enter, O bride, enter, O bride. Beloved, come to meet the bride, beloved. Great Shabbat, beloved, come to meet the bride, beloved, come to greet Shabbat.
Mizmor, Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I will sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your work, Adonai! Your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But for me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like the cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw.
Now our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Bless the Lord, the Blessed One.
Bless the Lord, the Blessed One, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, le'olam. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, King of the universe, who by his word brings on evenings, with wisdom opens gates, with understanding alters periods, changes the seasons, and orders the stars in their heavenly constellations as he wills.
Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, umabdil pen yom u'vein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai, Hama'ari V'Aravi.
You create day and night. You roll away the light before the darkness, and the darkness before the light. You make the day pass and bring on the night. You divide the day from the night. The Lord of hosts is your name. Living God and enduring continually, may you reign over us forever and ever. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Ahavat Olam Be'Yisrael Amecha Ahavta Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta, otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shafeinu, u'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'devrei toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Kichem Hayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negei yom v'layla, negei yom v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
In 3 books of the Bible, Deuteronomy, Mark, and Luke, we find the Shema. Yeshua was asked, which is the most important commandment? And he answered as we do now.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
And Yeshua continued, the second greatest commandment is,
Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please join me. Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchut Le'olam. and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you rise up, and when you lie down, and when you lie down, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gate and upon your gate, that you may remember and do all of my commandments and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
True and trustworthy is all this, and it is established with us that he is the Lord our God, and there is none beside him, and that we, Israel, are his people.
It is he who redeemed us from the hand of kings, even our King who delivered us from the grasp of all tyrants.
The God who on our behalf dealt out punishment to our adversaries and requited all our mortal enemies, he who does great things, yea, and wonders without number.
Who maintains us in life and does not suffer our feet to slip. Made us overcome and conquered enemies, and exalted our strength above all them that hated us.
Who wrought for us miracles and retribution upon Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the children of Ham, who in his wrath smote all the firstborn of Egypt, and brought forth his people Israel from among them to everlasting freedom.
Who made his children pass through the divided Red Sea, but sank their pursuers and their enemies in its depths. Then his children beheld his might. They praised and gave thanks to his name.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל הכנו שירה לשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם Who is like you, eternal one, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness? Who is like you, awesome in splendor, doing wonders? Sing that with me. Who is like you, eternal one, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness? Who is like you, awesome in splendor, doing wonders? D'var Torah, no rat he God of Sefele, no מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע הים לפני משה זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר וקודש תורת היא לא עוסק בהלם תורת היא לא עוסק ונאמר כי גדל אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום עמידנו אלוקינו לחיים sing it with me השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום עמידנו מלכנו לחיים ושמור צאתנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ושמור צאתנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום עמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום עמידנו מלכנו לחיים
Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Yerushalayim.
ושמור צאתנו ובאנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוגת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני המורה סוגת שלום עלינו על כל עמו ישראל
Guard our going out and our coming in for life and peace from now and forever. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Blessed are you, Lord, who spreads a canopy of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem. The children of Israel shall guard the Sabbath day, and all generations as a covenant for all the world. Between me and the children of Israel it is a sign forever, that in 6 days Adonai made the heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. We join together in the Chatzi Kaddish. Please join us, especially in the areas in yellow. Yitgadal, v'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Be'alma D'var Torah v'yamlich malchutei v'yatzmach b'chaneh v'karev ya Yeshua Meshichei. Amen. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'akala ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך לעלם לעלמי המיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר יתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתעלה שמי קודש הברכות יעלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה טוב ברכתה ונחמתה דאמירה בעלמא ואמרו ויכולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויגל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי יעקב, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, העליון, קונה שמיים וארץ. מגן נעמוד בדברו, בחיי מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו. כי פעם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראת, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד. מעין הברכות אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה לעם מקדושני עונג. Zeicher, remember, למעשה, what happened in the beginning,
Our God and God of our fathers, may you be pleased in our rest. Sanctify us in your commandments and grant us our portion in your Torah. Satisfy us by your goodness, gladden us in your salvation, and purify our heart to serve you truthfully. In love and favor, Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage, and may Israel who sanctifies your name rest in it. Blessed are you, Adonai, who makes the Shabbat holy.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu, ritzem nuchateinu, kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, ותן חלקנו בתורתך, צווינו מטובך ושמחנו בשועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בו ישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Our Father in heaven, may your name be sanctified. May your kingdom come as your will is done in the heavens, and may it also be done on earth. Give us the bread that is our portion today, and forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven those indebted to us. And do not lead us into temptation, but save us from the evil one. For to you is the kingdom, the power, and the glory for endless eternities.
Avinu Shabashamayim, Yikadash Shemecha, Tavo Malchutecha Ye'aseh Retzoncha, Ka'asher Bashamayim, V'gam ba'aretz. Et lechem hukeinu tein lanu hayom, Umahal lanu achavoteinu ka'asher machalnu, Gam anachnu lechayaveinu. Ve'al tivienu lidei nisayon, Ki intichatzenu min hara. Ki lecha הממלכה והגבורה והתפארת לעולמי עולמים.
Bless the household of Israel wherever they dwell. Be with us here where we worship you in freedom, and may those who live under oppressive rule find release and liberty speedily in our own day.
May your favor rest upon Israel, her land, her people. Protect her from hatred and war. Grant that the promise of her may ripen into bringing comfort to refuge, light to those who dwell in darkness, new hope to all humanity. This we ask in the precious name of Yeshua HaMashiach.
If you can, please rise. It is customary. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. bend and bow. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
May the time not be distant, Adonai, when your name shall be worshipped in all the earth, when unbelief shall disappear and error be no more. Fervently we pray that the day may come when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when suspicion and superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye, when all who dwell on earth shall know that you alone are God. O may all who created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your kingdom be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. The Lord will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו
And now the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Amen.
Amen.
Ve'alma divara chibutei v'yamlich malkutei v'yatzmach porkanei v'karev Yeshua Mishichei. Amen.
Amen. May his great name grow exalted and sanctified in the world that he created as he willed. May his kingdom reign, may his redemption sprout, and may he hasten the coming of Yeshua his Messiah.
בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן.
Amen. In your lifetimes and in your days and in the lifetimes of the entire family of Israel, swiftly and soon.
יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריך הוא.
May his great name be blessed forever and ever. Blessed, praised, glorified, exalted, extolled, mighty, upraised, and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed is he.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Beyond any blessing and song, praise and consolation that are uttered in the world.
יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life upon us and upon all Israel. May he who makes peace in his heights, may he make peace upon us and upon all Israel. Amen.
Amen.
Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
Now we have the Yigdal. This is the 13 Principles of Faith by Maimonides. And we have this in a song form. This is something that we talk about a lot in the yeshiva, especially the 12th of the 13, the coming of the Messiah. Even though he delay, we believe in perfect faith that he is coming, and we will wait for him every day. The Yigdal.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא בעיניכם מציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו נעלם גם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הכל ואין לו גוף לא נע ארוך עיניו קדושתו קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו הינו עדנו נולד לכל נוצר יורד גדולתו ומלכותו שפט לכהנו נתנו אל גדולתו ותפארתו לא קם בישראל כמו שכל נביא ומביט את אמונתו תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל היד נביאו נאמן ביתו לא יחליף האל ולא יעמידתו לעולמים לזולתו סופר ויודע שתרנו מביט לסוף דבר לקדמתו גואל איש חסד כמבלו נותן לרשע רע כרישתו ישלח יקש ימים משיחנו לפדות מחקקי ישועתו המתים יחייהם ברוך חסדו, ברוך עדי אשר תהילתו. אלה 13 ועיקרים הם יסודת ותורתו. תורת משה אמת ותנועתו, ברוך עדי אשר תהילתו. תורת משה אמת ותנועתו, ברוך עדי אשר תהילתו.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagefen. Amen.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine. L'chaim, everyone.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I am so excited to be with you. My name is Rabbi Shapira. If you don't know who I am, I'm the founder of Ahavat Ami International and Yeshivat Shuvu. And I'm so excited. This is the time of the year that I'm getting excited because in a now, exactly a week from Sunday night to Monday night, is the beginning what's called Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat. The Tu B'Shvat is the 15th day of the month of Shvat. Right in the middle of the month is when the trees in Israel, specifically the almond tree, they start to blossom and they start to produce those budding that declare to us that we are past the middle of the winter and we're starting very soon to see spring in the air in the land of Israel. Now it is a festival of Rosh Hashanah for the trees that you see even in a mention in different hints in the scriptures. So we have decided to do something very special for you, and I sincerely hope that you will consider supporting it. We translated the entire Tu B'Shvat publication to about 7 or 8 languages. And as you see on your screen right now, you can go to the website and you can download it for free. It's going to start Sunday night, and we celebrate it usually the second day, the following day in the morning. On Monday, we are going to conduct with you a worldwide Tu B'Shvat B'Ses Seder. If you never celebrated Tu B'Shvat, this is your opportunity. We welcome you to celebrate Tu B'Shvat with us. It's going to be phenomenal. It's so exciting because in Tu B'Shvat, again, go and download this publication. We want you to get it into your hands. But during this time of Tu B'Shvat, it is the worldwide release of the Rivka remnant. And you're going to hear me talk about it again and again if God will allow me to speak and give me the voice. I don't know how else to say it. This book will change your life from one extreme to another extreme if you seek to join the house of Israel and to the Jewish people. This is the book that is written for you. Dr. Wheeler called me today and he says to me, why didn't I had this book 40 years ago in my hand, in my entire career? He's going to get a book for every congregant of his in that church. It is unbelievable what God is going to do through this book. I am telling you right now that this is the book of 2022 that you must read, must put of your heart, must understand. And you ask yourself the question, am I the Rivka remnant? What does it mean? What is this remnant looking like? This is going to be released in conjunction with Tu B'Shvat. I am thrilled about it, and we're going to announce it's going to be translated almost immediately to many, many languages. Why? Because the message of Rivka Remnant is a universal message that have to be reaching to the tens of thousands and to the hundreds of thousands in the days ahead. This is not a heavy theological book. The book is about 200 pages, written the deepest concept in the simplest of language that you will be able to transform to the part of the remnant. I have a request from you, because we are blocked on Facebook, we are blocked on YouTube, which I don't understand it. Anything with the word remnant, anything with the word end time, we just cannot promote. But I'm to please prayerfully consider to look at www.rivkaremnant.com, promote it, get the book. Don't get one copy, get 10 copies. Friends, the response has been already fantastic. It's going to be released in Kindle as well. For those of you who want it in Kindle, I encourage you to get the book in your hands. It is going to be a life-changing, and we're releasing it the same day that you're going to get the gift of the Tu B'Shvat. We also made a DVD set for those who want to study with me. Go through this together with me. There's a wonderful DVD set that is available for that, and I encourage you to get that. Again, we are excited about this release, and we are asking you to please pray for us, pray with us, as it is going to the printer right after the Shabbat. So this is some huge announcement. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, we are starting together Shacharit. I will be here, Noach will be here, Jackson will be here. Chazan Gordon is still dealing with the COVID. Pray for him. Pray for several others who need healing today. And I pray today that they will receive this healing in the name of Yeshua. So again, a lot of amazing things are happening. We're excited you are here. Keep on sharing, liking, and again, remember, it's your support that make this broadcast available to the world. So please consider supporting this work here at Ahavat Ami International. God bless you. Let's go to Rabbi Bernstein for a word for this Shabbat. And after that, immediately, we will just get ready for tomorrow morning. It's going to be amazing services. God bless you. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Well, this week's Torah portion, Bo, is one of the most significant Torah portions in all of the Torah. In it, we have the final 3 plagues, including the Makat Bechorot, the slaying of the firstborn. But tucked in there, there's other things too, and we want to make sure to make note of them. Most notably is the first of the commandments to the children of Israel broadly. The first one of these that we see is that you are to take this month as the first of the months. And that is, of course, referring to Aviv in Torah, also known as Nisan. We call it Nisan today. So this is to be the first month. Now, note, it does not say that this is the new year. It says this is the first month. So when you're counting months, what's the first month of the year? It's Nisan. Okay, that's why Tishrei is the 7th month, because Nisan is the first month. So what happens on Tishrei, and why does Rosh Hashanah fall on the first of the 7th month? Well, it's because when you're counting for the Shemitah, if you're counting years, if you're counting for the Yovel, you're to count from the 7th month. Torah teaches us that. So which is the new year? And the answer is, according to Talmud, Rosh Hashanah 2a, it actually explains they're both new years. So which one are we going to call New Year? Well, since we're counting years for the first of Tishrei, we end up calling that one Rosh Hashanah the New Year. But is Nisan a New Year? Sure, it's the first month. Okay? And actually, if you look at the Talmud section, there's 2 other first months, and one of them we're having next week. And that would be Tu B'Shvat, which is the new year for trees. Now, why would we have a new year for trees? Very simple. There are fruit trees that bear fruit continuously. They don't have a harvest season, right? We've got orange season and grapefruit season down here in Florida. And this is a very important time for us. And guess what? All of the oranges and all of the grapefruits, they ripen within this period of time, these couple of months. But other fruits like figs, they sort of ripen continuously throughout the year. So if you're tithing, right, if you're giving 10% of your produce every year, when does this produce stop and when does it start for the next year? So when does this tithe count for last year? When does it count for this year? So you've got to have a new year for trees. Because on that day, from that day forward, anything you tithe is for this next year. And everything you tithe previous to that date is for the past year. Very simple. Okay. Also, how do you count years for a tree? Why is this important? Well, because of the laws of our law. That is, when you plant a tree, you're not allowed to harvest from the tree. Not for 3 years. You can't eat it. You can't use it. Nothing. Right? That's what Torah teaches us. But after 3 years, all of the fruit for that year goes to the temple. And then the following year, you can eat your normal amount and tithe your normal amount and all of that. So, do you have to give every single sapling a birth date and record everyone immediately when it comes out of the ground that every tree has a birth date? No, you don't have to do that. If you've got a big orchard, you've got tons of trees, okay, so what you do is you look at this one new year for trees and count 3 years from there, and then you're done and you're good to go. Okay, then the fruit can be given to the temple. And then the following year on the same date, now you can actually use the fruit for yourself. So that's why we have to have a new year for trees. And this new year for trees is Tu B'Shvat, which is coming up. Actually, it's Motzei Shabbat, Sunday night, actually. Next, not this upcoming Sunday night, but the following Sunday night. Okay. Now, Parshat Bo also contains 2 other very important commandments. One of them it says, when your son or when your child asks, and it's referring to the story of the Exodus from Egypt. And it says, you will tell him. This is the commandment for the Passover Seder. This is how the sages interpret this as, you know what? The children are going to ask. The sons are going to ask, the children are going to ask, and so we tell them. So this is the purpose of the entire Passover Seder, is to fulfill this commandment. So when your child asks, you will tell them. And we tell them the entire story of the Exodus from Egypt. And then the last verse in the Torah portion tells us actually about tefillin. It will be a sign or an emblem between your eyes, and you'll bind it as a sign on your hand. Right? This is the commandment for tefillin. Now, one of the fascinating things about this commandment is that they are given to us, they were given to the children of Israel before the giving of Torah at Sinai. These commandments are so important that they are with us before Sinai. Shabbat Shalom.